oh wow, this is my people. This is the culture I've been missing.
Knowing that made me more comfortable in my own skin to be myself.
I wasn't in an environment where I saw other people like me. Wow, there's so many Chinese people here.
Do you know what? It's okay to be me. There are other people out there. What advice would we give, someone of that age going through that? In 5 years' time, with AI, the jobs that we have now might not even be around.
Yeah, the second they have them, listen, look around you. We can't keep all of you. 50% of you will be cut.
If you just took that attitude, you won't progress more than that. Going into university was where I actually really started finding myself. Part of the reason why I started finding myself was because I exposed myself to a lot more different people and a lot more different cultures. So my school, when I went to boarding school, was predominantly white. My girlfriend at the time was white.
You had a girlfriend?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was one of those. Yeah.
Wow, you were popular.
Look at my chick.
You were popular.
But my wife is the best.
Yeah.
So my school, when I went to boarding school, was predominantly white. Because I was in boarding school, I was exposed to that, almost 24/7. And obviously I knew sort of what home culture was like from a sort of Hong Kong family, having grown up here. But then when I went to university, that was when I actually got to know people from different countries, Malaysia, Singapore, even sort of Indians who grew up here, who I didn't know many of back then, Pakistanis who grew up here, people from all different walks of life. And I think when I was in university, I tried to learn and expose myself to as many cultures as possible. And I think it was then that I realized, do you know what? I actually have similarities with a lot more different people than I'd thought. And I think knowing that made me more comfortable in my own skin to be myself. And I think that then showed as confidence. So I didn't then need to feel like I need to be someone else or do something for someone else to fit in.
That's really different. I went off to uni and had a completely different experience.
Oh, really?
I think I found there weren't that many, I didn't go to boarding school, there weren't that many.
Wait, which uni did you go to?
I went to Cambridge. We completely
You went to Cambridge.
Let's not.
I'm going to shut up and let you talk now. Okay, go on.
Let's skip that question, yeah?
Cambridge.
No. So when after uni, I had a completely different experience because when I was in secondary school, in terms of Far East Asians or Southeast Asians, there were maybe a handful of us out of a school year of 200 pupils. So it was a very limited number. I wasn't in an environment where I saw other people like me. And then I went to uni, and you know what I realized? I went wow, there's so many Chinese people here. It was like, oh wow, this is my people. This is the culture I've been missing. I made many friends, Chinese friends at uni, many good friends. However, when I come back now, sitting here, talk to you and think about who are my best friends at uni and who are my best friends from uni who are still my best friends now, yeah, they're not Chinese people. They're like Asians who were born here. There were Asians who came here at a young age. A couple of white people who've had very similar experiences as me growing up. But when I went to uni, when I got there, I was like, wow, I want to explore the whole Chinese thing. Because that, for me, was not an experience I've had. And it wasn't, I want to explore everything. It was like, I want to explore the people who look like me, who can talk the same language as I can, Mandarin, and who have grown up in a completely different world, but to know more about them and to know more about the life I left behind to grow up here. So it's quite different to what you felt and what you did.
I think it's different but same.
Really?
Because what I get from it is, I feel like when we were in, let's say, primary and secondary school, we were more confused.
Definitely.
We didn't know where we fit in, so we had to try harder to try and fit in. But it was actually university where we realized, do you know what? It's okay to be me. And there are other people out there. And I wonder if that's because we get older or we see more of the world, or we're actually out of the rigid structure of school where these 30 classmates are all the people that you can be friends with. There's no one else out there. But when you go to university, anyone can be your friend. You can go to different societies to meet people. Your class is suddenly a class of 100 that you can choose from. So I wonder if it's because university just exposes you to so much more. You then open your eyes to realize, do you know what? I've got so many different flavors now. This is the flavor that I like. I don't have to stick with the vanilla.
Very apt metaphor there.
Or chocolate. Or chocolate.
Or caramel.
Caramel, banana,
Matcha,
strawberry.
So, yeah, I think I agree. And if we talk about where to fit in, I think going off to uni was great for me. Going off to uni was where I found the people. They were not the people I thought I would find, but there's a few of you out there who still treat me like a uni student, and we still get on like uni students, and that's great because that is where I felt fitted. I found the group that I really fit in with, and fortunately or unfortunately, it is people who are like Vincent, like me, like they're just like us.
I was talking to my wife over the weekend.
Good. That's one thing you should do.
Yeah. Okay. I talked to her a lot. Actually, we had there's a family. It was a, let's say, family friend going through university now, 21, and hasn't decided what he wants to do. As a job, as a career. He'll be graduating soon. My wife and I, we were thinking, like, what advice would we give, someone of that age going through that? And the advice that we thought of was really get to know yourself, because when you really get to know yourself, like what you want to do for the world, what you're good at, what you don't like, do you want an active job, an office job? Do you want to work in Asia? Do you want to work in the UK? When you really know yourself, then go and look for a job. Because I feel like a lot of people now, when they're in university, they're then thinking, oh, what do I want to be when I get out of university? In 5 years' time, with AI, the jobs that we have now might not even be around. So how can you start your university planning for a job that might not even be there? So my advice to him was, well, I didn't actually tell him because I was in the car on the way home then. But my advice to him, hopefully he watches this.
Send him the vid, yeah.
My advice to him would be get to know yourself and meet a lot of people in university, who you're friends with, who you dislike. Because people you dislike, you don't need to hang out with them. There are so many people in the world. What do you want to do? Who are you as a person? What would you get up for? Where do your morals lie? And then follow that into a career.
I agree. I think whatever you want to do, all of you out there, I think you'll find like-minded people at university. I think there's so many people at university. Like you say, the diversity is insane. And that's really where you'll get to explore yourself and find out what you're really like and who you really want to be. And I don't know, Vincent, when you started uni, when I started uni, we had the financial crisis in 2008 in my second year. So going into uni, I was thinking I'll come out with a cushioning job. I'll work hard, but go to London and get a reasonable job, and it'll pay a lot, right? And that was the hope. But then the financial crisis happened, and we've heard stories from colleagues here who were graduates back then, and they were told, listen, look around you. They were, the second day it happened, listen, look around you. We can't keep all of you grads. 50% of you will be cut. But then from the outside, as a student, it was like, okay, everything I had, all my dreams, all my expectations about the job world and how to apply for a job, what I wanted to do was so different. And then it was like, well, actually, what do I want to do? And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I think I probably spent a good few years during uni and afterwards just floating and hovering and not really knowing.
I guess like school and university, school for sure, doesn't actually prepare you, I think, for corporate life and for the working life. Because when I was at school, I was always told, look, work hard, get good grades, and you'll do fine. You'll get work, and yeah, you'll have a successful career. And that's what's been drilled into me. But actually, now coming to the corporate world, if you just took that attitude, came in on time, did your work really well, yes, you'll get to a certain stage, but you won't progress more than that. And that's because when you get into a corporate environment or a working environment or the real world, there's so much more that goes on in terms of people interaction, the politics, playing the game.
Yeah.
The corporate world is a bit like a game, knowing who you need to talk up to, knowing maybe what not to do, not to say. I feel often you can't always be yourself.
You can't.
So, guys, sorry for the abrupt end, but we do go on to talk about what it's like working in the corporate environment and how we found it fitting in. And that is a complete different episode and a topic on its own. So that's why we put that into the next episode. So please tune in again next week and we'll talk about fitting in the corporate environment.